What was that? Is there someone in here? Hey, yo, come over here, bro! What the hell? Sit down right there, bro. Why? I gotta tell you the story between Tanner and David. It's a pretty crazy one. Actually, I'm really interested in that story, yeah. I guess I will. So yeah, the title isn't any sort of clickbait or whatever. I'm honestly making a rant video on TannerFishies. I'm sure you all know who he is, an Ninjago content creator with over 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now I know this is going to garner a lot of backlash for me, but I implore you all to just watch the whole entire video before commenting and leaving a rating. To reinforce this, I just want to share a private message sent to me by a fan on Discord where she states, quote, "Now that I really look at it, he really did care for only the numbers, not the people. People like him won't succeed in life if he stays this way. People like him never do. Everyone at one point will know what he's really like." End quote. This is after witnessing how Tanner actually treats his fans and the entire Ninjago community, which of course will be shown in this video. So without further ado, let's begin. I'd like to start off with Tanner's massive ego, since Tanner really does have one huge ego. On his Twitter account, he likes to refer to himself as a massive legend, ranging from tweets on his Twitter about how untouchable he is and how he can, quote, never fall, to Discord chats where he tells his fans he doesn't even run his own Discord server and lets his, quote, pawns run it while he collects the cheddar, are clear examples of how he views himself above of everyone else. However, these points don't even come close to what I'm about to show you. Let's establish some context first. Tanner was having an argument with a kid on Discord who was quite young and they had a disagreement, and Tanner kept telling the fan he's wrong because he's not as old as him, and so Tanner made fun of him for being so young. Then Tanner proceeded to quote the fan's criticism toward him that stated, "You think that just because you're an older member of the community you can give the younger members crap and get away with it?" And Tanner responded with, "Yes, deal with it." As you can all see, Tanner has absolutely no sense of respect towards fellow community members or fans, and he just simply doesn't care about them or their feelings, which is just plain out wrong if you ask me. Especially for someone his age who should be extremely mature and not have made fun of children just because they're younger than him and disagree with him. Additionally, he likes to talk smack about me, as seen in this tweet. At first, I didn't know if it was directed at me, but while chatting on Discord, he told me it was. As you guys might know, I decided to take a break last month from YouTube in order to focus on my personal life, and the break was ended after 1 week instead of the original 2-week break that I had planned, and Tanner then told me in a Discord call that I was afraid to go on break because he would take my views, and that he would take my subscribers too, since they would all go to him now for Ninjago content. And I can't begin to emphasize how egotistical and wrong that sounds. First of all, how big of an ego must you have to think that I'm afraid of going on break because of you? The reason as to why I returned to YouTube earlier than expected was because I was free on the day that the official Ninjago Season 9 trailer dropped, and I obviously wanted to make a video on it. And since I was coincidentally free on that day, I went ahead and made a video. I think it's insanely ridiculous that he believes he is the sole reason for my return to YouTube that month, and that just goes to show how selfish he really is. Next up, I'd like to discuss what a massive hypocrite Tanner really is. A few months ago, he published a video onto his second channel where he rants about people re-uploading official Ninjago episodes onto YouTube and how it's, quote, wrong, and he's acting like the big good guy sticking up for LEGO and defending their copyright from YouTubers who pirate and upload the episodes. Let's roll a clip.
There is something wrong with straight up content theft, which is what a lot of these channels are doing. They are just blatantly stealing and re-uploading what LEGO has already put out themselves, and it truly does baffle me how many people just accept this and let it go. How hard is it to not re-upload the episodes? It's not that hard at all, just don't do it.
The funny thing is though, Tanner is friends with someone by the name of BrickLoversTV, who uploads full-length Ninjago episodes and even plans to in the future. Now I don't have any sort of beef or conflict with BrickLoversTV whatsoever, but do you see how hypocritical Tanner is when he even collaborated with BrickLoversTV and promotes his channel in his recommended channel section? He's giving a content thief a lot of publicity and is essentially sending his fans to BrickLoversTV, who will continue to upload full-length Ninjago episodes and get a ton of views from Tanner's fans. But let's not end there, shall we? Once again, no hate whatsoever to this individual who I'm about to bring up, but a few weeks ago, one of Tanner's other friends, the marvelous Jan, tweeted that he would be uploading the Ninjago Season 8 episodes to his YouTube channel to allow, get this, Tanner to use them. So let me get this straight, Tanner. It's not okay to upload Ninjago episodes to YouTube, but it's okay to upload them to YouTube so that you can use them? You can't have both, buddy. It's either one or the other, and this just demonstrates how you really don't care about any sort of morals like you say you do. You're just simply putting on a character. I also want to bring up one other video that he uploaded onto a second channel, where he criticizes Ninja Warrior 1245, a fellow Ninjago content creator. His main point about Ninja Warrior was that he blocks many people that he has disagreements with. And you know, why am I even talking? Let's let Lord Tanner take it away. Play that clip.
To my followers know this, if the person you are in a debate with ends it with this, you know you were right. And it shows a screenshot of someone blocking him. So by that logic, mates, even though there was no argument, especially for the second blocking, was I right?
So, was I right? It's funny how Tanner blocked myself and many of my friends on Twitter just because we had disagreements with him. Seems sort of hypocritical to me. I'd also very briefly like to touch upon something that was insanely scummy to do on Tanner's part, and that has to do with a Twitter post by TannerFishies Studios, and he posted onto his Twitter account criticizing Tanner for many of the things that he's done in the past, and Tanner just posted private direct messages from TannerFishies Studios and himself, and making fun of Dan because he said that his channel was dying. Now, I don't know about you guys, but stooping as low as to leaking private direct messages in order to win a Twitter argument is kind of scummy in my opinion. With that out of the way, I'd like to bring up one of the most controversial things Tanner has done. Over on his infamous Twitter account, Tanner loves to like tweets that have half-naked anime girls in them, many of them topless and shown in a very sexual context. Now, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out why this is wrong. Tanner is a content creator for children, specifically children that are ages 8 to 14 like it says on a LEGO Ninjago set box. Tanner likes to argue that he makes content for AFOLs, also known as adult fans of LEGO, but I mean it's obvious that he's just spitting a bunch of bullcrap in an attempt to justify his anime babe addiction. I mean, let's face it, Ninjago is meant for children. Children are the majority of the Ninjago fanbase. Sure, there may be some adults here and there, but children are his primary target audience. I mean, just look at his comment section. Yep, those are surely adults there, Tanner. So as you all know, if you follow a person on Twitter, you'll get posts of what they have pressed like on and what they have retweeted in your feed. Essentially, because little children follow Tanner, they are getting these inappropriate images in their Twitter feeds. Now let's take a moment to discuss why this is actually horrible. Tanner advertises his Twitter account and his other social media links in all his videos, and with a pretty big fan base like his, kids can easily head over to his Twitter account since they like his Ninjago content and probably expect to see some awesome Ninjago posts on there too. But that's where the issue begins. By following Tanner on Twitter, children are exposing themselves to half-naked images of anime babes that they probably don't want to see. And let's face it, kids aren't expecting that, and you wouldn't want 8-year-old little Jimmy stumbling upon this image right here. But if little Jimmy is following Tanner on Twitter, he's gonna get exposed to those images. And since I was following Tanner at the time that this all went down, all these images were popping up in my Twitter feed, and I got hella confused since I'm not following any half-naked hentai Twitter accounts, and was sort of surprised to see that Tanner was liking and retweeting all this stuff. So I hit up Tanner in the DMs and decided to confront him about it. Oh wait, Tanner, you wouldn't mind me leaking our private direct messages to the public now, would you? Of course you wouldn't, since you breached TannerFishies Studios' privacy. So Tanner goes ahead and basically tells me, yeah, I'm liking these posts and retweeting them, but at least I'm not posting them myself. Fair enough, Tanner, fair enough. Wait, what's this, Tanner? You're posting half-naked anime chicks on your Twitter now. But I thought you just told me in the DMs that, hey, it might be bad, but at least you're not posting them. But here you are, posting them. It's sort of funny because Tanner has tried to justify this post so many times before, stating how he has the, quote, rights to post whatever he wants, and how, quote, Twitter is rated ages 17 plus on the App Store. However, I'm afraid all those arguments are invalid, buddy, since you told me yourself privately that it's alright to like and retweet half-naked anime chick posts as long as you're not posting them. So please save the bullcrap. The best part about this is that Tanner has absolutely learned no lesson whatsoever, and even after basically admitting that what he does is wrong, he continues to like and retweet pictures of half-naked anime girls on his Twitter account and makes it a hazard for the impressionable kid fan base that he has. He once argued to me in a Discord call that since Patrick in the SpongeBob movie had his butt cheeks fully naked, he can post naked anime butt cheeks on his Twitter. Like, what? You're kidding me, right? First of all, the SpongeBob movie scene was done for comedy relief, and secondly, the context is important, since the only naked butt cheeks you post have a sexual context around them, which is inappropriate for children. Tanner, you're 18, an adult. You should know how to handle the level of responsibility that you have now. You should be able to know right from wrong, but you don't. You don't have the maturity and the responsibility to handle such an influential role in this community. Your fan base consists of children, and children are very impressionable. Some of them probably even look up to you as a role model. If they see you lacking any sort of responsibility in posting half-naked pictures of girls on your Twitter, what's stopping them from doing the same? Sure, you can argue that it's a parent's fault and you're not a babysitter, but don't you think it'd be reasonable to post all these sexual-related anime stuff on another Twitter account while keeping the Twitter account that has the TannerFishies Twitter handle child-friendly and Ninjago-related? Wouldn't that be reasonable and in fact responsible? I've brought this point up many times to Tanner before, and his main excuse is that it'd be too much work to manage several Twitter accounts and it's just easier to post everything from one main account. He proceeded to tell me that most of his followers are more in favor of his anime posts. Yeah, sure, Tanner, let's take one look at your Ninjago posts and compare it to one of your anime posts. Look at that ratio between likes and retweets. Oof. Yeah, you definitely have followers who prefer an obsession of anime chicks over Ninjago. Let's not forget to mention how you hosted a Twitter giveaway of a Ninjago Spinjitzu spinner when you reached 1,000 Twitter followers. Why don't you give away some sort of anime body pillow instead then, buddy? Oh yeah, that's right, because you know what you're spewing is bullcrap, and you know that your Twitter followers are there for Ninjago. He claims he's too lazy to make several Twitter accounts, but in fact, that's not the case. Tanner just lacks the responsibility he needs and doesn't care about his fans or his followers. He just cares about what he wants and what he craves. I mean, you don't see kid content creators like Jane Brooks and Just Too Good posting half-naked images of anime chicks or just chicks in general on their Twitter accounts, do you? See, they're mature and they have some sort of responsibility, which you don't. When you chose to make Ninjago content, you essentially signed the contract to be child-friendly and produce content that would be kid-friendly. That means keeping all your social medias related to your child-friendly YouTube channel kid-friendly too. And if you don't, it just shows what a scumbag you truly are. With all that anime stuff out of the way, I'd like to bring up another issue. Since Tanner likes to post and interact with accounts that have half-naked anime babes in them, he's obviously received a lot of backlash in doing so. Yeah, I'm sure Tanner's Twitter followers prefer anime babes over Ninjago because, I mean, backlash always indicates they love something, right? Yeah, keep spewing that bullcrap, Tanner. Save it for someone who's dumb enough to actually believe it. Due to all the backlash, Tanner has become a manipulator of his followers, telling straight lies of how he's being hated because he just watches anime, and plays the victim card of how he's now being bullied. Let's not forget how Tanner has bullied a fan of his own on Discord for being younger than him. What a big old hypocrite. Anyway, it's kind of funny because in the first reply to this tweet, you see the response that the only issue is the type of anime he watches, which I completely agree with. Any anime with over-sexualized anime girls is kind of inappropriate for kids, don't you think? And to go ahead and then post them onto your Twitter account is very irresponsible. I just want to go ahead and get this out of the way here. I watch anime myself and I have no problem with it whatsoever. Tanner can post any anime images he wants to if he really craves to, but why all these sexualized anime babes? Keep your obsession and fantasies away from the kids. That's really all I ask. It's just a clear example of how Tanner is blindly manipulating his fans into thinking everyone dislikes him just for posting anime in general. It's the type of anime that you post that everyone has an issue with here, buddy. I'd also like to bring up how the reply to his tweet has the word lollies in it. If you guys don't know, Tanner also likes to post about lollies on his Twitter, and some are half-naked as well. The issue here is that lollies are underage anime girls, and Tanner is 18 years old. It's actually really creepy when you think about it, because here you have an 18-year-old adult who is fantasizing about underage anime girls and has a clear obsession with them. At least keep it to yourself, man. Your fans don't want to see that. Additionally, I'd like to bring up how Tanner has no interest in Ninjago whatsoever. whatsoever. If you guys don't know, currently Tanner's Twitter bio reads, quote, looking forward to NMU, Anime Expo, and the day I get to upload content I actually enjoy making, end quote. I mean, that's a pretty clear indication that he doesn't like the content he's making. To make matters worse, he even braggingly posts on Twitter how he's excited to stretch out a Ninjago video to 10 minutes so that he can insert mid-roll ads and make even more money off the video. He's criticized me in the past for how I insert mid-rolls in 10-minute long videos, and I admit that I've done that in the past and it was wrong. However, I have a deep passion for Ninjago, which is why I continue to upload it. Yet, Tanner's over here monetizing Ninjago to the fullest, while also calling it gay, and even going as far as to state that he wishes for Ninjago to end. I don't know about you, but that doesn't really seem like a Ninjago fan to me. That just seems like someone who just uploads Ninjago content for the money. And someone like that just doesn't belong in the community. He doesn't care about his fans, he doesn't care about Ninjago, and doesn't like the content he produces. So why keep making it, Tanner? Oh, that's why. Because it's a huge cash cow that you can milk while creating a false persona that you're some sort of Ninjago fan who loves the series. If you thought that's all that Tanner has done wrong, trust me, it gets even worse. A few months back, Tanner got into an argument with some Star Wars fans on Twitter and began calling them cancer. Now, for someone like me, you know that a serious disease like that is nothing to joke about. So obviously, one of his fans got extremely angry at him and began telling him how a member of his family suffered from cancer. Then, in response, Tanner posted a laughing gif indicating how he doesn't care one bit about his fan's family member and is laughing at the fact that he has cancer. It gets worse because Tanner began getting an immense amount of backlash, even trying to justify making fun of cancer with an image of iDubbbz, a popular content creator for mature audiences, stating that joking about cancer isn't anything new and it's been done for a while now. I don't need to explain how wrong that is. After getting a tremendous amount of hate and backlash, Tanner informed everyone that this was all a misunderstanding, and he didn't say anything about this being a misunderstanding earlier because he thought we were smart enough to understand it. First of all, once again, Tanner is spewing a load of bullcrap trying to manipulate his fans. If this was all a misunderstanding in the first place, why didn't you state so as soon as people began having a problem with it? If this was all a misunderstanding, why did you try to justify it with iDubbbz? If this was all a misunderstanding, why'd you try to justify joking and laughing at cancer by saying you had an uncle that passed away from it? I'll tell you why. This wasn't a misunderstanding. Tanner genuinely thought he could get away with making fun of cancer, and wouldn't have said anything about this being a misunderstanding if he didn't get the vast amount of backlash that he got. Due to all the criticism towards him, he had to make up some fake excuse and still somehow managed to inflate his massive ego, saying if we were smart enough we would have realized that this was just a misunderstanding, yet still to this day, he hasn't apologized to the fan who he laughed at for having a family member who had cancer. I mean, what kind of person does that? The least you could do is apologize, but instead all we got is the typical, it's just a prank guys, it's just a misunderstanding excuse that anyone who's guilty always comes up with. It's kind of funny because not only does Tanner make fun of cancer, but he also makes fun of AIDS and many other serious diseases. I think this goes to show how immature he really is and how incapable he is of handling a YouTube channel with a pretty large fan base. He goes on to say how, quote, AIDS is hilarious, which let's face it is a terrible thing to say. And then a fan confronts him about laughing at the kid's uncle who has died from cancer as seen in the previous example, and Tanner just responds with, but I don't care though. I think this goes to show how Tanner genuinely doesn't care about his fans and is just human trash, as he's making fun of all these really serious diseases that some of his fans have been impacted by, and he just laughs at them. I think it's incredibly shameful in how Tanner tries to cover up all these controversies with the "it's just a prank, I was joking" excuse. I remember years ago when I was entering middle school, I attended the middle school orientation, and one of my principals told all the students who attended, quote, if you do something bad and come to our office with the "it was just a joke" excuse, that is not going to fly because you're all mature now and you know what you're doing is wrong. And I think that example here truly demonstrates how invalid Tanner's excuse really is. Once again, he caused a huge argument to erupt on Twitter after he criticized people for not liking the new Sons of Garmadon intro and said that they weren't true fans. Once again, after experiencing a massive amount of backlash, he clarifies and states, quote, it's just a prank, bro. And guess what? He once again inflates his huge ego and says, quote, I can't believe I had to explain this. You know what? I can't believe you have to keep using the "it's just a prank" excuse, Tanner, because at this point, it's just insanely annoying and we all know what your true intentions were anyway. It's funny because Tanner has actually tried to fire back at me, showing this very old tweet of mine where I use an inappropriate word. And I admit, I shouldn't have done that and I'm deeply sorry. But Tanner, can you find any other instance where I say anything else that's bad? No, because I've learned from my mistakes. Look at the tweet, it's over a year old. I haven't done anything close to that in that time. Yet here you are, just a few weeks ago, retweeting a tweet that has the F word in it. But the funny thing is though, is that Tanner is just as guilty as me when it comes to, quote, keeping it clean, and while I may have exposed my fans to one bad word over 1 year ago, Tanner keeps doing it to this day. Maybe not directly, but retweeting someone who says it is just as bad. Finally, before I end this video, I just wanted to mention my personal experience with Tanner. If you all didn't know, Tanner and I were actually friends back in the day, and we supported each other in the content we produced. But then something changed between us, and he began to criticize me for re-uploading the Sons of Garmadon trailer, which I had permission to do so, and slandered my name by calling me a content thief. I think it's kind of funny because all you have to do is take a look at Tanner's comment section and see that he gets complaints of ripping off several Ninjago YouTubers, including HF Masters. But keep in mind, those are actual theory videos that he takes credit as his own, not trailers which I have permission to re-upload from LEGO. So in reality, who's the real content thief here? Additionally, one time a fan brought up LEGO Ninjago Fan during a Discord conversation, and as you all know, LEGO Ninjago Fan once threatened to beat my own mother. And when Tanner was informed of this, as seen via this screenshot, he said, "What a legend." So essentially, Tanner was in support of what LEGO Ninjago Fan has said, and viewed him as a legend for threatening to beat my own mother. Cool, Tanner. Cool. Over the past few months, we've gotten into several arguments over our opposing views, and it's gotten to the point where one of Tanner's friends and Tanner sent me this lovely message saying KYS, which if you don't know what it means kill yourself. Now, I don't know about you, but that's not a very nice thing to say. Granted, Tanner's friend apologized for sending the message, but Tanner did not. I mean, even Tanner's friend had a higher level of respect than Tanner in some sort of manners. One time in a Discord call, Tanner told me that the persona we see on his social media is fake and created by him, while how we see him in his videos is how he actually is. I can't begin to express how much of a sham that really is. I really hope that he doesn't believe someone is dumb enough to fall for this. Why is that? That on every single platform besides his YouTube channel, we see him being rude, disrespectful, and a bad role model. Quite frankly, I think Tanner's got it the other way around. The real Tanner is who we see on social media and on Discord and in our everyday interaction with him, where he laughs about cancer, AIDS, and bullies his fans. The only fake persona he puts on is found on his YouTube channel, where he deceives kids into believing he's a fellow Ninjago fan like them, while he truly doesn't care about them and is only in it for the money. Tanner, you're not a massive legend. In fact, the only thing you are is a massive disappointment.